What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Good Life Visual Audio Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, C. Muzan. I got Kabi here in the building. Say what's up, Coach.
What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, dog? We in here.
We need some loud because this
I
is
gotta hit it.
episode 100. Guys, we're here. We've made it to 100. How many other podcasts can say they've gotten to 100 episodes? I'm sure there's a few out there, but none like us. Super excited for tonight's episode. So glad to be here to actually share more information, more content with you here on The Good Life. But episode 100 is a big deal, man. Kabi, how you feeling today, brother?
I'm feeling old, man. I'm feeling like a centurion.
A centurion.
Right, centurion. But I will say I have good news. My knees are still good. Hips are still good. Cholesterol is low. Blood pressure is low, and we're good to go, man. But yeah, this is exciting. How many other podcasts we actually do got a special guest for you today that will say he can chin up to that number real quick. So we'll bring him on. But that's a little sneak peek for you guys. But no, man, I'm super excited. I'm also super proud of us, man, just in general. Like, you guys see the somewhat polished finished product on here. And when people ask me, so you still doing that little thing?
That little thing? That little thing?
Podcast thing you do? Yeah, with that dude? Yeah, that dude. Yeah. Yeah, we still doing it.
That's
we
right.
in here and we're giving the people what they need. We're giving the people what they want. And you know what? Shout out Detroit.
Big shout out Detroit. Talk to me about Detroit.
I feel like Detroit is the single most important reason why we're still here today. It is the glue that holds us together. Detroit is a powerful power. Did you know, brother? Did you know that all 4 pro sports have called Detroit home since 1957?
All 4. Meaning
all 4.
NBA?
Meaning we got the Pistons, the NBA.
Okay.
We got the Lions, the NFL.
Okay.
We got the Red Wings, the NHL. And we got the Tigers, the MLB. I need to get a Tigers hat, actually.
Ooh.
I want to get a Tigers hat. That
would be a good hat.
So basically, any month, no matter how cold Detroit is, we still got people representing, and on all the parks, man. And that's basically foundation what we do as well, man. Hot, cold, muggy, whatever it is, whatever month, we still. Even if we lose every single game, shout out Detroit Lions, right? We're looking good. They're gonna make the playoffs this year.
Like I said, not better than our Eagles, but either way, I was on the phone with I was on the phone with somebody today that was talking about Detroit, and they weren't big fans. They were like, "Man, it's better." Like we were talking about the Atlanta Falcons. It's like I haven't been an Atlanta fan in a long time. He's like, "But better than being a Detroit fan." And I was like, "Oh, my partner would not want to hear that."
Hey, Detroit always getting that hate, but you know what, man? The cold weather, the Thames, the original place of the Thames, not New York, right? Got that armor on. Do whatever we want, and that's why we love Detroit, man. Actually, I don't know about you; you're a closet hater, but that's why I love Detroit, because we put on that hammer, that armor. I mean, and we stand strong. Throw whatever you will at us. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, I mean, weren't you the one that put the theory out there that cold weather develops character?
It does. That might be something that Detroit has going for it, but sports probably not one of those things. So. We digress. Uncle Jalen, we might need you. But either way, let's dive in to the 2x2. That's our segment right now. We're going to dive in to get the show started on a topic. We're going to give you our 2 minutes on it. Something that's important in the health and wealth space. This one, some news, but it's been out for a little bit of time. We just want to share it. And Kabi, I want your thoughts on this. Mr. Mark Cuban, Shark Tank entrepreneur, right, owner of the Dallas Mavericks, all types of other businesses and investments and things going on. He, for those of you that don't know, has plans to offer insulin direct to consumer with his cost plus drug company. Now, this company coming out, and I believe, and I think they're already doing business, right, is selling insulin and other medication for super, super low cost, saying, why do people have to spend more? The markup is crazy. What are your thoughts on Mr. Mark Cuban and this insulin/drug company he's created?
First and foremost, I appreciate Mark Cuban as an entrepreneur. He's definitely one that puts out a lot of good, thoughts. And I think he was part of this book. I forget what the name of the book that he read. And his whole thing was everybody can be a millionaire through hard work. But you need a little bit of luck to be a billionaire. And apparently he got a stroke of luck, whatever that may be. Obviously, this is an opportunity that he identified in the market and is taking advantage of it. You can't hate on a man for that. For me, when I look at this from my background as a health guy on this podcast and just one that's always thinking about root causes, it's a little seems like a little bit of a money grab to me. It's less of like, oh yeah, let's help people out. If we really want to help people, let's go to the root cause. Let me give you a little something real quick. So did you know that 1 in 10 Americans now have diabetes requiring some form of a drug like metformin or insulin in which he's selling, right? And the price of insulin has tripled in 1 decade. But the issue is not necessarily the price of insulin, because that's just market principles, right? If you see something in high demand that you can triple the price, why would you not do that? This is really nice for big pharma or those who have the money to get in to direct to consumer. But many Americans are, and he's doing something good in the sense of many Americans are choosing between paying for their drug or paying for their paying their bills, or even worse, rationing insulin, which can be deadly. So you can say, yeah, it's doing something good. But did you know, and this is what I focus on teaching on the health side here, is that they don't tell you that all of this, right, is reversible through lifestyle changes and food changes. And that is the root cause. Insulin, metformin, all of those things have side effects and they're temporary. They don't solve anything, right? So if we really want to go to the root cause, we should address those things. And that's what we focus on. And in 2023, that's what I'm going to focus on with the things that we're doing up here and really diving into that. So pay attention if this is something that concerns you or your loved ones.
Appreciate that viewpoint. And it makes a ton of sense. And, that's what we talk about here on The Good Life, that it's really about attacking the root causes. But as the wealth guy here on this podcast, I'm going to talk about this from the money standpoint, the business standpoint. I think it's a win-win in lots of areas. One, yes, the people that do need the drug, they are going to be able to get it at a cheaper price. Same quality, just get it at a better price, meaning it's going to save them money. They're going to be able to manage their lives financially a little bit better just because he's come in and he's able to not take so much of the profit that big pharma has, and starts to deliver some of that value to the people, which is always a great business model. And I believe that's a win for the consumer. But it's also a win because big pharma has had a headlock, a stranglehold on these drug prices. Mark Cuban, as an entrepreneur, as a billionaire, as an investor, understands that finding the white space in the market, finding the place that you can get in where there hasn't been disruption, there hasn't been innovation, that is a way to be able to then build a strong business, build a strong company, regardless of kind of, him being in now this new space of, drugs and, medical stuff. It's really more along the lines of there was a white space. Big pharma had a monopoly on this stuff. There's no need for it to be that. He saw the white space. He has the resources. He has the business acumen to be able to now create and create his niche in there. And I think it's going to do some real damage in the medical industry, in the big pharma, in the drug industry, if he is able to continue to pull this off. I really have a feeling, though, long term, he's going to wind up selling, because big pharma has too many people that lobby, too much pull in, the government for them to be taken down or to be losing a substantial amount of money off of drugs. So I think he's in for a fight. But Mark Cuban was also the guy that fought the SEC, if I'm not mistaken. And that is a hell of a fight to fight. So I think he's up for another one. And I look forward to seeing how this plays out, because it's a good thing on both sides. That was it.
Yeah, man, that was it. We'll stop right there. Lots of thoughts on that. I would love to hear, wherever you're seeing this, wherever you're watching this, drop your thoughts, drop your 2x2. Let's see what you got to say about it, and maybe we'll revisit this at another point in time. I know it's definitely a topic that's going to come up for us, definitely on the health side for sure, because this is a huge problem, and it's only increasing. I mean, we're estimating statistical modeling says by 2030 that 568 million people, right, globally, despite all the doctors, all the pills, all the gym memberships, and all of that, are going to be suffering from diabetes.
It's definitely a problem. Definitely a problem. But we got to let's have the conversation so that we can talk about what the preventative measures are for it, and we'll do that at a later date. But just like Kabi said, we want to hear you guys in the comments, so feel free to leave us a comment about it. But on to episode 100, guys. We got a special guest in the building.
Woo! You're in for a treat.
Randolph Mortimer, right? Anyway, you're in for a special treat. This is going to be a great time of celebration because it's episode 100. Before we bring this guest on, let's take a look back. Let's take a look back at what 100 episodes looks like.
We grow up.
Sing it.
And remember. All right. That's it.
Done.
That's what this reminds me of.
It does. But let's take a look back at the past 100 episodes, and then Kabi will come back and introduce our guest. Pay attention.
Welcome, guys. Welcome to the first ever episode of the Good Life live streaming show. Hit it.
Hey, welcome to the Good Life.
Kabi's dancing for you. Get it.
Hey.
Get it.
This episode might be for you if you have been considering going back to school.
Tonight, we're going to have a great conversation around the topic of loss.
The idea that experts are not gods.
When I think of the average person that gets burnt out or has anxiety or all these things, they almost think that like it's normal.
2022 heading into 2023, it's going to be a luxury to travel. Like, you have to really evaluate whether or not this is going to be the smartest financial move.
You're being smacked on the head with a hammer with an increase in things like airfare, and you're being nibbled at the feet with an increase in things like dining out.
We're in a real retirement crisis. That number of people that are self-insured that are over the age of 60 or 65 is a lot less than people think.
If life is so great for Wiz Khalifa, why my man gotta be high all the time? Pay attention to the type of content that we're consuming and how that is influencing the decisions that we're making that maybe is not even our own decisions.
It's not a pleasant time for boomers right now that have large amounts of assets sitting in the stock market. It's just not a good time. The trades, our plumbers, are they going to be necessary after 10 years? I believe that technology will win over time.
Never.
If you're unfamiliar with your money, you don't know where your money is going, if you at least start tracking it, you'll feel better about it.
House, car, student loans. If you already have it, we're not here to make you feel bad. We're here to tell you how to get through it.
25% of parents say that they never talk to their kids about money.
What are you doing? Are you trying to raise a child into an adult?
If there is a place that is often attacked in the recessions, it's through cash flow. You really got to pay attention to your cash flow.
We know about a quick hot cold shower that can actually change the balance of how we're feeling immediately, or particular breathing patterns that could change how we're feeling immediately, right?
I really do have to pay attention to grounding and getting out into nature and not sitting in this dungeon of an office at my computer getting tech neck. That is what we call tech neck.
Some studies have suggested that sugar is as addictive as cocaine. Research shows that 10 minutes a day of being in meditating, being in flow actually gets you 80% of the results.
How much do you think people know that like the majority of deaths are related to like things that are preventable, specifically food?
70% of cancer is caused by food, and the number one ingredient is sugar.
What should people be paying attention to for their consistency in the health?
What we consume is the number one factor that dictates our level of mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual health.
That's a bar. Welcome, guys.
That was a bar for real.
So good, almost ran it twice.
Almost.
That was cool, man. That was a really cool look down memory lane. And if you paid attention, you saw in that very first clip We had 4 individuals on there. And here we have, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Love, a heart guy on Instagram, relationship coach, host of the Heartbeat podcast, currently working on the process for interviewing 100 couples to write a book on healthy relationships, and also working with business owners. Kevin Crenshaw.
What's up?
Welcome back, Kev. Welcome back,
Let's go.
man.
Shout him out.
We
I
back.
love it. Damn. Man, listen, it is such a pleasure to have you back, man. I'm for one, I'm real excited. Reached out, my man was a yes right away, a man of his word, executed, showed up, and brought the energy, bro. The original heart guy, the only heart guy actually that I know. Shoot, only one.
There's a TV show in I think Australia called The Heart Guy. It's about a heart surgeon.
I got a couple lawyers. We'll go ahead and we'll figure this out. We'll talk. But man, how you been, brother? Good to see you.
Woo. It's good to see y'all. I've been amazing recently. 2022, and I was, reflecting on this past year. My word for the year going into 2022 was unfathomable. I didn't goal set at all for the year. I was just like, God, blow me away. I can't even sit down and write out what's going to happen and all the good stuff because I can't, at my level of consciousness right now, comprehend what's coming. And I'm pretty sure that happened.
Unfathomable. I can't even
unfathomable.
Unfathomable. It's a good word. It's a good word, brother.
Yeah. So I am doing amazing. I'm living in Austin, Texas now. And in the beginning, in that video, it's out in Tulum at the time. I remember the exact spot when I took that call. And yeah, man, I've been on quite a journey healing I had a bunch of gut problems. I was nomadic at the time, and I came to Austin for physical healing so I could ground myself, heal my gut and everything. And that's happened. And I'm feeling really freaking good. I'm in an amazing relationship now, better than anything that I've ever thought was comprehensible for me. And I'm a fucking relationship.
Unfathomable.
Exactly.
Almost,
and so
almost.
That's good. I don't know, man. In the beginning stages of redoing my whole business model, I kind of killed momentum, stopped. I took a lot of personal space in 2022, backed off of everything. I needed it, take a breather, and change my relationship with work. Just burning myself out and just didn't really have a good relationship there. So,
bro, real quick,
yeah.
talk about that, Kev, because I think you just made a real good point. And we got some questions for you and things, but that right there, changing your relationship with work. This is the good life. We started this show all together talking about health, wealth, love, happiness, mindset, how to achieve the great life. Now, Kabi and I continuing to do this, and we're talking to people that are what we call corporate athletes, people that are pushing their lives to the next level and getting to that next place, but there's something missing. Talk a little bit about what you just said on changing your relationship with work. What does that look like?
My relationship with work before was, let's just say everybody around me was like, damn, that guy's doing it. Holy shit. I got a lot of praise. Very successful business. Successful. I mean, I was making the money, if you want to judge it by that. Multiple 6-figure business. I was living the dream financially, but I was depleted internally. Work was what I did around the clock. I didn't date, didn't really have a social life. My social life was based around work, right? And so it was just working 10, 12-hour days, always thinking about, obsessing about how I could make the process better, how I could improve sales, content to create, all of the things. And I just got wrapped up in all of that and didn't really realize that I wasn't fulfilled. There was a lot of sadness, a lot of anger that was underneath all that. When I would stop working, it would kind of come to the surface, and then I would go to work to avoid it, And so I just burnt myself out, man. I'm working around the clock, downing caffeine to keep going, and I just wasn't fucking happy at the end of the day. You know what I mean? It's always about the next goal, the next thing, and
again, I got a lot of praise for it because I had a successful business financially. And I came to a point where I needed to heal my body physically because I was having gut problems, right? And thankfully gave myself permission to just stop. I'm like, dude, you've got money, you've got savings. What would happen if you just didn't work? I grew up an entrepreneur. My dad was an entrepreneur. So I saw that growing up and never really had a real job ever in my life. I mean, making burritos at Chipotle once. But like I didn't really, I always worked for myself. And with that, it was like, you're always on.
Right.
And so I gave myself that luxury to just peel back and take some reflection and heal physically and everything. And so I took a season of withdrawal from it all, and coming back into everything now, I'm just like, I want to build in a different way. So I'm even changing. A lot of my goal setting for this next year is about like my business plan. I didn't have a business plan before, which is like do more, show up, you get it done. I'm like, all right, making a business plan and thinking about the lifestyle that I want to create, and then creating a business that is in alignment with that lifestyle.
Yeah.
And everything from time freedom to all of it. Now, making money is not my number one goal. And before it was, in terms of my business. Yeah. Now my number one goal is time freedom for myself.
That's awesome. Yeah. It's so good to hear, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I there are a few things you said there I would definitely like to expand on, but unfortunately we can only ask one question at a time, so let's do that. I want to dive in a little bit into it sounds like what I'm hearing is that your definition of success changed, and I'm curious, like, what was it before and how would you restate it now? And I'd love to get into the gut piece a little bit too, because that's I almost renamed myself the gut guy because I believe that much in the sense.
Let's go, the gut guy.
The gut guy. Man. So I think before my definition of success was social media followers, how much money are you making a month? If I was real with myself, that's what I was basing it off of. I could say whatever I said before, but that's what I felt, I think, back then. And for me now, I'm successful if I have freedom. I'm doing what I want, when I want, with who I want, wherever I want, however I want. Yeah. That to me is success. And making sure at the end of the day, you got a roof over your head, all your bills are paid. The crazy excess to me it's appealing, don't get me wrong, but it's not like I need that to feel successful.
Yeah, that's big. I think that's going to help a lot of people, Kev, just because the fact that health got to the kind of the top of your list, right? Like often, again, being the money guy, I talk a lot about money and the work, and then what you're saying and what I'm hearing you say also is that, like, when that definition changes, really because health became top of mind. That was like the top of awareness for you. It's like, oh, I gotta get this gut right. I gotta make sure that things are good for me. And then once I understand that, then all the rest of those things fell into place for you. So I think that's really going to set some people free also, just in general, that are listening, to know that how important that is in our definition of success, how important health is in that.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. And I'll say this, the reason why I kind of left, my corporate space, my real estate career, et cetera, and kind of came and really started to focus on health is that realization right there. I remember sitting face to face with a billionaire, right? But with a B. And this is like the thing, like to your thing about, to Kevin, to your piece about, money and followers, et cetera. I was like, wow, he is beyond the top of the mountain where I would think to be. And all he wanted to talk to me about was health. All he wanted to like discuss was like how to get his gut right. And he's been to this doctors, and he's over here questioning. I'm like, bro, you could literally, in my head, I was like, man, you could literally pay like millions, to like, you could have the best medical team ever. And we're over here talking, you've left all your friends and we're talking over here on health. You just want to pick my brain about that because that's all that mattered to him at that point, is feeling good again. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I'm curious, man, what was kind of like, how was your gut? Like, what do you mean by gut problems? If you
Yeah.
don't mind getting into that a little bit, and then also, what did you do to resolve it? And I think maybe somebody else is out here that's been driving themselves to the ground, or maybe not. Maybe they've. I think a lot of people walk around with low grade gut issues. They don't feel great.
Definitely.
But they don't, but they don't feel like horrible either.
Dude, I was talking about that with somebody yesterday. So I went to my girlfriend's side of the family for Christmas, cheated on my nutrition quite a bit, and I fucking felt it. I was like, from having like seed oil and corn chips. And that I used to just have that stuff all the time. And it's like, I didn't realize that I was having that low grade issues before until I got clean of it, and then I had it again. It's kind of like if you ever cut out alcohol and then you have alcohol again, the hangover the next day, you're like, holy shit, I used to live like this? The fuck? Right? it's like that, but with food. Yeah. Man, so it turns out I didn't know what was going on. I would just have irregular bowel movements, crazy bloating, and to the point where like I couldn't think straight, a lot of brain fog. Turns out I had leaky gut, loose gut, which was affecting my pituitary and thyroid wasn't functioning properly. And then my adrenals were shot because I was having way too much caffeine, because that's the only way I could like stimulate myself to feel normal. And so I just had no energy. I got my blood work done finally, and everybody was like, I sent it to 4 doctors because I wanted or functional medicine doctor, normal doctor, a few friends. I wanted to get everybody's opinion before I just chose a route to follow, because I, for probably about a year and a half, was just playing the guessing game. I'll try this diet. Let me try this supplement. Let me take some prebiotics. Let me do this thing. And nothing really progressed. And I kind of just got frustrated at myself. And I was like, go get your blood work done, peek under the hood and see what's actually there. And then I did that, and I sent it to a few people. And the guy that I ended up going with was like, how are you? And actually 2 of them looked me dead in the face and was like, how are you alive right now? Like actually functioning and talking with me, and not just laying in bed and like feeling like you're in a coma. I'm like, I have no idea. And they're like, your blood work is like, how do you have energy? They were baffled. And I was like, I don't know. And it was like hard. Every day felt like an uphill battle energetically. Wow. But it was from all of that. My hormones were out of whack. I had low testosterone. My leaky gut was affecting my mental cognition like crazy, just brain fog, like you wouldn't experience. And I just felt like shit constantly. And what I ended up doing to heal it all was
right when he was giving us the answer.
That's not just me, huh?
That's not just you.
Okay. I was like, hold real still. Maybe it'll be right back.
You just cut out a bit, Kev. You just cut out a bit. I don't know if he came back.
Hey, I'm back.
There we go. You're back.
Sorry about that. What I ended up doing to heal it all, though, got that blood work done. Ended up going with a functional medicine doctor. He put me on a shit ton of herbs. I don't even know what I was taking, to be honest, but it was a lot. And I also went carnivore and did the like carnivore MD diet. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Yeah. And raw dairy, having raw milk helped my gut so much.
Yeah.
It was a lifesaver. So I did that for about 6 months. Did this whole protocol where he basically helped my pituitary and thyroid and my adrenals. So I got a ton of energy. Then we detoxed all the bad stuff out of my gut. And then we like replenished my gut. And then we slowly tapered off all of it. And I'm literally on my last bottle of my last supplement thing that I was taking from him. And I feel great.
That's fantastic. Hold on. Pause. What is the doctor's background? Super curious.
Functional medicine. He was a recommendation. He doesn't even have a website. Just like a friend of a friend. But this is what he does.
I know a guy.
Yeah, he does functional medicine. He's also super woo and into like the spiritual path, and he does energy work and stuff of that nature. So,
and you said he prescribed herbs.
Yeah, he gave me a bunch of herbs from this one company. I forgot the name. Biotic Labs, I think.
Yes.
And he just prescribed me a bunch of supplements from them, and I went on this protocol. So like in those phases,
Got it.
but then also taking stuff like organ supplements from Heart and Soil.
Yeah.
Sure you're familiar with the company, and
yeah. So you were on.
all,
You were on for people to expand on this a little bit. Your focus was on organs, meats, any fruit.
Oh yeah, fruit, organs, meats, raw dairy, and honey. I had carrots and purple potatoes. It was basically the only vegetables that I had in that time.
Yeah. And that really did it. Like what's a normal day look like? And I know I'm getting into the nitty-gritties here. Maybe we'll talk about
stay there.
Super interested.
Yeah. So I took some stuff, humic and fulvic acid that helps your stomach with stomach acid and a few other things. So I took some of that in the mornings. I'll hydrate in the mornings. I'll do some red light therapy. In terms of nutrition, I would work out on an empty stomach, and then I would eat. Breakfast would look like a few eggs, some turkey bacon, cooked in ghee butter, some dates, a banana, and maybe some like coconut yogurt. And then I would have lunch. Was normally like half of one of those packets of meat, 80-20, grass-fed, cooked in ghee, with either usually purple potatoes and some carrots. And then I season all that up, eat that, and with some dates. I don't know why I love dates so much, but I do. And then dinner was just kind of like whatever, to be honest. But I stuck, especially for about 2 to 3 months, where I basically ate meat with carrots or meat with purple potatoes cooked in ghee, and didn't really veer from that at all. No cheating at all. No like potatoes, no sauces. Maybe every once in a blue moon I would have some sushi. But even then it kind of upset me a little bit, the rice. So it was a very boring diet during this whole process. But that's I think what helped me is because I didn't, I gave my body the stuff that it really needed.
Yeah.
I remember the first time, because I was vegan before I went into this diet. I just went from one side of the coin to the other. And I remember it was my birthday this year when I ate my first steak that I've had in 9 months. And it was for dinner, and I couldn't go to sleep because I was so energized. I had so much energy, and I was like, from the steak? What?
That's crazy.
Because my body absorbed all the nutrients. So,
that makes sense. Can I ask a question about purple potatoes, just because I'm ignorant to it? Like, why purple potatoes? What's up with that?
I think it's and y'all may be able to answer this a little bit better than me, but I think it's because it doesn't have nightshades, which is in purple or normal potatoes and sweet potatoes, and it's just essentially a thing that can irritate the gut. So purple potatoes for me didn't irritate my gut at all.
That's what I've also read. Obviously, you've got people on both sides of that conversation, but yeah,
got it.
And purple potatoes versus purple yams are slightly different, but conversation for another day.
Yeah,
I could have probably done it different and better, but I don't know. Just telling, like for me personally, it was like, eat this, don't veer from it. Okay, cool. Because I used to do physique shows and follow a super strict diet anyway. So I was like, all right, easy enough. And I just kept
give me the marching orders.
And I know that whatever supplements I took from this functional medicine doctor was it, because at one point I had to get off of them to test my blood work again to see where we were at. And I tried to get off of them for a week. And that week was like back to normal. Like my energy just tanked. I was a walking zombie. And I got back on them and I felt great again. And now, it's at the end of the protocol. I'm off of it all and I feel great. So it was just kind of like what was needed.
Yeah, it's really, really interesting stuff. And what 2023, what I'm looking for quite a bit, going to be speaking on quite a bit, is the similarities rather than the difference. I feel like in terms of, you said the two sides of the spectrum, I think a lot of conversations around the difference rather than similarities, right? What you just described is a lot to do with just spoke on this, but on a higher level, we go back to deficiency and toxicity, right? Removing toxicity and giving you the things that you're deficient in, and whatever that may be, whether that's through herbs, whether that's through the actual food that you're eating, or how it's prepared and what's going through in the processing and all of that stuff. And that all of that is slightly different for every individual. That's why I was so curious what your path was and kind of what worked for you and what that looks like. Yeah, that's really good stuff, man. That's so now you're all good. You're is there any fear of you? Oh, you said you then went through a specific detox?
It was just taking certain supplements to
Okay.
Get detox. I don't think there was any name to what I did.
Sure.
I think you're about to ask if there's any fear of me relapsing.
Yeah. Of coming off and then having some of the same issues again.
The only way that would happen is if I just started eating a bunch of gluten and sugar and dairy again.
Right there.
And caffeine, might I add.
Right there. That deserves a clip because that's so important, right? It's so important because I talk to a lot of people and they're like, they'll do something that works regardless of what it is. Then they'll go back to how they were living and they're like, oh, it didn't work. Whoa, my guy. You just reintroduced the same things that got you to where what did you think was going to happen? And I think that right there is clearly you got the right mindset, et cetera, man. But that's one of the things that really, really gets me that we don't realize. If we go back to living the same way, we're going to get the same results at the end of the day.
One of the things that I didn't mention, that's so true. One of the things I didn't mention that I think was really a big toxin that I didn't realize I was having a lot of was seed oils. I'm sure you can get into this conversation. But like I said, I just went on a vacation for the holidays, visit the girlfriend's fam, and let myself go a little bit on my nutrition, just enjoying myself. Had a little bit more coffee than I normally would or whatever. And, coming back, it's only been 24 hours and I'm just now starting to feel a little bit more like myself. My body's inflamed. My sleep's irregular. I'm having mood swings and shit. I'm just riding the wave. I knew it was going to come. But one of the biggest things that really gave me an upset stomach while I was on that letting myself go for a second was I had chips from, this is crazy. I had chips from Qdoba that have a lot of seed oil in them. I ate Five Guys probably 3 different times. It's cooked in peanut oil. And that's why I can have it. So if I do want to cheat a little bit, I can have something like Five Guys as opposed to something that has seed oils in it. Like even Chipotle has seed oil. They cook all their stuff in seed oils. Yeah. And it'll just destroy me.
Yeah. And this is huge. This is huge because really, I think on a higher level, what we're looking at here is in what is done to the food from the point in which you get it from the ground to when you put it in your mouth, right? I've shifted from focusing so much on what it is to like what is done to it. What it is matters. I'm not saying it doesn't matter, but what is done to it matters so much more. You can take meat and make it unhealthy for individual very easily. You can take veggies, make it uncomfortable. You can, or make it. I believe that one of the reasons fruits is so good is not only that fruit is complete in and of itself, but very rarely do we do a lot of stuff to fruits. Right? We don't typically. I mean, I can probably be corrected, right? Yeah. You go to the fair, people deep frying stuff, and doing all types of nonsense, right? But typically, you get fruit and you get it like, oh, it's as is. But everything else we take and we're taking Oreos and sticking it in hot oil and doing all this stuff. And to your point, we look at 3 things you already mentioned: processed sugars, right? Processed flour, essentially, right? Multiple different forms of flour and carbohydrates, etc., and processed oils, right? all of them is man-made things that are getting us to a point where we're just further and further and further away from source, further and further away from God complete creation. All right, because a lot of this, I follow Carnivore MD's work quite a bit, and he quotes and goes to my brothers and sisters in Africa quite a bit, right? And this is something I've seen, right? And the thing they don't struggle with that we struggle with is we walk outside and we look around. Right? They walk outside and they process their own stuff. So they're not out here counting calories. They're not out here counting carbs. They're not out here distinguishing between these different things. Like we go so into the details, but it actually ends up not helping us because of the modern food environment that we live in, right? Even if an individual wants to do this, wants to get off of this stuff, they have to go get they have to get a freaking PhD to understand what is going on. They're like, wait, I went to Chipotle. It's like, fresh meat and all this. Like, what's wrong? Seed oil, motherfucker. Right. This is CBS, kid-friendly ways, right? But gotcha, right? It's like, that's crazy. And I think we will continue to find as we shift, right? And I want to hear your thoughts on this. As we shift our understanding of what's happening, the industries at work, the big food, big agriculture, they will also shift. Because how long ago were we having these conversations that it's processed oils? It's really not that long. And before then, processed sugar. So as we shift our understanding of what's good, as long as other people are growing your food, other people are processing your food, other people are cooking your food, other people are transporting your food, other people are putting it in front of you, all they have to do is like, oh, so that's what they want now? Okay, cool. Bam. We're going to make the final product appear to be like that. The process in which we get it there, they don't need to know. They don't have the insight into that. And then 10 years later, we find, shoot, we're still having an increase of this surgery, an increase of this pill, an increase of this, and the entire freaking system. Well, I think it's going to be really hard to kill, and I might be pessimistic, but it's
yeah. You got to tell people they can't have Oreos anymore, man. They cause an uproar.
Yeah, they'll say like, "Oh, that's cool,"
or they're Chipotle, or whatever, and that's the thing is these companies have created it in a way where it's addictive, and
1000%.
So why would you change it? And again, it's addictive, so why would I change?
Right.
So there's a lot of it's a grassroots issue more so than anything, and I think that we're making waves in the industry is making waves personally, and I'd be surprised if in my lifetime the industry as a whole changes. And I'm talking global consumerism with food changes to actually help people. I think we can make waves, and I think we can make a dent and a shift in it. But I think that I'm being safe with it. My own personal view of it all is I think it'll take at least 2 generations.
Oh yeah,
I think it was Elon Musk that said something like, change takes time because you can't really change people's minds. You just have to wait for the next generation. Right?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if that's what he said, but I agree with that.
He said something like that. Yeah.
I agree with that. I was agreeing with the sentiment of the statement there. 1,000%. 1,000%. That's exactly it. And
it'll happen. Agree. I don't know if we'll be around for it, but it'll happen, and that's the important part.
While we're waiting for that, at least this is my thought process. Continue to educate people and give them tools to live in this modern environment. Because I think before, we showed those clips, I was in a space of like, let's break the wheel. Then I realized, oh shoot, my back hurts. The wheel is breaking me. Right. So now it's a shift. I think I see myself shifting from maybe that's not the way to go to let's continue to educate people and those who are uncomfortable enough, who have enough pain to seek something else have a way to go about it. But the rest who are either addicted, like myself included, to different things, give them tools to live in this modern food environment so that to bridge the gap between where they are and where they want to go. Because the truth of the matter is, shout out Paul, right? Carnivore MD. But not everybody going to be able to move to Costa Rica and live like he does. Right? I would love to. That's my dream. Right. And even I'm living out here in LA. It's not like that. Right. And I'm probably better off in terms of just like resources than a lot of people I know. So how do you tell? I just went to Virginia. I was telling my wife this. I just went to Virginia, and we went grocery shopping, and I was looking around. And I was like, wow, like it's been a while since I've seen this like the low quality of food that's being sold in these grocery stores.
Some places in the out in the boonies, they grocery shop at a gas station.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so, and think about gas station food. You've got like SpaghettiOs, what? So, and I think we can do better there, but I really do feel it's going to be people that are in pain or just want to wake up and heal. That happening in the now, educating people and providing opportunities, resources to do that, and teaching the next generation.
That's exactly
not raising your kids on fucking Cheerios.
Yeah. Listen,
I was raised on Cheerios, my mom for it, but like shit,
1000%. Right. Me was cornflakes,
seed oils, sugar, and all the refined.
Yeah, the worst.
The three things to avoid all in one.
Yeah, we're all in one.
It's a perfect way to get somebody addicted and enslaved into the.
Yep. And then sit them in front of cartoons on a Saturday. Man, that was the life.
Dude, they know how to do it. They put the box in eyesight of a child with their favorite characters on it, and it's all colored, very vibrantly. And that's evolutionarily, we see those vibrant colors and we think, oh, it's a blueberry, or oh, it's a strawberry. It's like food. It's nourishment. There's the psychological warfare that goes on behind that, man. It's a rabbit hole. Do you dive down?
Yeah.
It's a lot. And again, just on this point, because I have a child, right? This stuff is hard. Like it's all around us. Like it's really, really hard to like, and I think my daughter does a very good job of it because she, eclectic in her eating, right? She eats all types of things, right? And most of those things that are from source, right? Vegetables, fruits, all that good stuff. But like, it's tough to keep her away from goldfish, right? With rainbow colors. It's just really tough to be like, no, you can't. And, so for parents, like just since we touched on this, for parents, it's tough, but just understand how much the system has to break, how much of this we have to educate and talk about so that the next generation does become better. Because if not, they'll continue to do the same things that we've done. So the conversation is definitely important,
Yeah, it is.
I think what is more likely than the system changing is that there will be a certain percentage of humans that will adapt. I think that's more likely than the system changing. Okay. And I feel like I sound so pessimistic when I say that.
I've said it before. I've said the same thing. Systems don't change. Like it just doesn't happen. That's why they're systems. That's why they're in place. There's people that keep them in place for a reason. Like it's just enough people wake up. Like you said, right? Enough people adapt, enough people wake up. I think that's a huge point.
Health and wealth, baby.
That's it. Kev, we went on. This is so funny. We have like show notes and stuff behind the scenes. That
literally got like 25, 30 questions for you, and we just man.
None of them.
Hey, might have to have you back, man.
I know. We might have to. I'm
here for it. I'm here for it.
Because this was great, and again, we wanted to showcase and highlight not just you but just what we've grown to here on The Good Life. You are one of the originators here, right? Unfortunately, we're missing out on Stu tonight, right? But you were one of the people that got this whole thing off the ground. And so we welcomed you back, and we wanted to have you come back in just to catch up and say, you know, see where you are. Obviously, things are going well for you. Obviously, you know, you being able to shift that perspective a little bit on kind of what success is and taking more care of your health and really diving, sounds like a lot deeper into the health side of things for yourself, is obviously amazing. It's what we talk about here. As we wrap up, we kind of want to give you some time to talk about what's up and coming for you also, right? So again, we didn't really get a chance to touch on fully the relationships at the heart side of things, but talk to the people about what you got going on and what's coming up and what you're excited about.
Yeah, man, I'm really excited for the life that I'm creating with my partner. We've got some big visions for next year and ideas for travel and things like that, but we're really setting up the foundational work right now in both of our businesses to be able to do that. And so with having a retreat in February, first one in 3 years, so that's going to be really awesome to just step out and facilitate again. And I've already started to facilitate some online trainings and things like that. I had a workshop a few weeks ago with like 75 people there. And it was like, man, like some of my old clients were on there and they were like, "You're different." And I'm like, I know, I feel like went through a freaking hero's journey, slayed a dragon, came back. It was just good to get those reflections, man. And so there's a lot new for me. And I actually don't know too much of what it looks like yet, except for a different version of me showing up, which will set the stage for everything to be different. My podcast, The Heartbeat, I've been pretty irregular with it, but I'm gonna be
I see what you did there, huh? Irregular heartbeat, huh?
You know, yeah. That wasn't intentional, but I like where your head's at.
Bad, you have to excuse.
We're gonna get back to a normal rhythm, you know. And
hey, look at that! He's doing it again. Normal rhythm, huh?
We get back to a normal rhythm. I got a podcast series called Real Love Stories, where I interview couples who've been together for decades and still passionately in love. And I ask them about their story and how any advice that they have to give. And I'm learning so fucking much, and it's really unique. So my goal is to interview 100 couples and then write a book about what I found on how to create a healthy relationship based on their experience.
I love that.
So that's coming. And then I have my really one offer that I have right now is called The Way. And it's essentially how to change your nervous system to a more secure attachment style and literally change that you're coming from love, not for it, and relating in a new way. So all the stuff on that.
So guys, I've experienced this man facilitate, as he says, and that's definitely where I think you shine bright in all places, man. But seeing you in that space is definitely an area where I was like, well, okay, that's what he's about. That's this man out here really illuminating things. So if you get an opportunity to ever be involved in any sort of workshop, in any sort of program that you said retreat, anything like that, I would highly recommend it. Looking forward to that book. I think that sounds like a really cool project for sure. And so I'll ask, how does one initiate contact
with me?
Yeah,
you follow me on the gram or TikTok, really only two I'm using right now. Search for The Heart Guy. And yeah, I'm going through a huge rebrand right now, so my website's very outdated and I'm updating all of that stuff now, but yeah.
Awesome. The Heart Guy on Instagram and TikTok. We will make sure that people know how to get connected with you, because again, you're doing great work out in the world. Obviously, you've done great work internally, so that's what gives you the ability to give now and do great work for others. So kudos to you, man. Super excited for your journey. We appreciate you spending some time back here on The Good Life, where it all started. And we'll get a chance to have our listeners connect with you in the future, brother.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely, man.
Connect with this man, The Heart Guy, one of the coldest names on Instagram.
Oh, I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. I see
I
what
had to
you're
throw
doing.
my dad joking.
That's it, man. We all need it. We all need it. All right, Kev, you take care, brother.
All right.
Later.
Such a pleasure, bro.
Man, what a show 100. What an episode 100, man.
I need a louder button. Is this thing on? Man, listen, I'm jazzed up. I'm fired up. That was really cool. I'm so thankful for Kevin for making this happen. I'm hyped now. I'm like, man, who else can we talk to? You know, this is really cool to talk to people, see what people are doing. There's a lot of good people out there doing a lot of really good work. You know,
a lot.
He's really a really great guy. Guys, definitely connect with him. I mean, I just had to say that piece right there. I'm speaking from the heart right now. I'm speaking from the heart right now.
I see what you're doing.
Right? I'm speaking from the heart right now. Really dope, really dope. And I'm just excited to see his next few projects kind of take place.
Absolutely. Guys, this is what you can expect moving forward on The Good Life. You've been leading up to episode 100. We said we got some special stuff coming. We're now headed into, our new season where you're going to see us interviewing a lot more people. Just like you saw today, us getting a chance to reconnect with Kevin and hear what he's got going on and get his insight on things. We're about to start doing that more frequently. You're going to see more guests coming on. If you have anyone that you want to see us talk to around their health, wellness, wealth, mindset, relationship, anything that's helping us get to the business, right? Anything that's helping us get to the good life, feel free to leave a comment, tag them in a post, let us know, send us a message. Hey, you should have this person on because we want to talk to them. Also, for everyone, you see it on the screen, go ahead and dive into our Facebook group. Again, this is where you're going to get more access. Most likely, we haven't even talked about this, most likely we'll be able to gather some information and some content from some of our guests and throw it specifically in the Facebook group for people to be able to see or hear more of. And that way you can stay connected with us and all the people that we're introducing you to. But make sure you join the Facebook group. The link's right down there. bit.ly/TGL Connect, or you can just go to Facebook and type in the Good Life 4, number 4. That will bring it up and you can dive into that group. But that's where we're going to give you guys more access moving forward here on the Good Life.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And Hembo, make sure that we throw into the final 5 to ask our guests for some resources that they would recommend so we can add to our ever-growing book list so we can create that resource for people and put it in that group as well. I think that's going to be really cool for people to dive into that.
That's right. That's right. Awesome, man. It was a great show. Looking forward to us moving forward. Hey, guys, we're not here next week. Kabir is out vacationing with the boo. I don't know. He's out there living his life.
I'm only doing it because I'm being forced to. Nah, man.
Look at that.
I'll be cooling out. I'll be out in Hawaii. I'll be doing my thing, getting some sun, getting my vitamin D up, and excited to pick back. But we got some stuff coming out for you guys, though. We got some stuff coming out that should be really dope, really cool. And you know what? I feel this from the heart as well. Shout out Detroit. Shout out Detroit Tigers. Saying Pistons, the Red Wings. Shout out Detroit. I just feel called to say something.
Just because we're going to miss out on it next week, you had to end the show with Detroit. I understand. It's okay. But enjoy your time out in Hawaii, brother. We're coming back live again the following Wednesday, which is January the 11th. So happy New Year to everyone, since we won't see you until the new year. Thank you for everybody that's been following, listening, sharing. Continue to like, subscribe, wherever you're watching. Make sure you engage with us because the Good Life, is only getting better, guys. So, Kabir, send us out of here, man.
We appreciate you. We love you. Make sure that you live with love. Focus on your health. Get your money up. And we'll see you next time on The Good Life. And until then, make sure you join the group. And peace.